Hello and welcome back to the Live Rally Game Podcast. My name is Stephen Stewart, and I'm here today to talk about the Mole, Ohio season 2025. Joining us today, we have our most recently executed player, who is the most cash-bringing. I guess what's the term for it? Lachey, you put the most money in the pot of all the episodes that have aired so far. You were the best agent of the cast, bar none. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, and did you hear that? Holy moly! You said I was contributing nothing.
No, it's like because when we were together on the the camera task where you spell out the words or bodies, which that was 45 minutes of us running in circles and struggling, but like you did great. Like that was my take, was like Lachey like did work this challenge.
I truly thought that was sabotage at its finest. I'm like, he hosts a podcast. I mean, is he kidding? I was sweating so hard. I was over it. But they came. It was fun.
Yeah, and then like we do the challenge where we make our fun little LeBron James. You did a great job there. Joe did even better. I was just like, can't be the mole. He's telling me how to use the glue stick.
Yeah. That was fun too. I was like, oh, I'm not really an artist and I'm gonna be messing up, but no, that was fun.
So talk to me, how did you learn about the Mole Ohio?
It was one of those big games, you kind of hear it among all of the LRG players. So I'm like, let me give it a go. And it's in Ohio, and I live in Indiana, so it's not too far. So I'm like, this will be a refreshing change versus driving to or flying to New Jersey and places like that.
So would you say, are you a big Mole fan, or is the Mole a game you learned as you went?
It definitely was a game I learned as I went. As you can see in the episodes, I really truly have no clue what's going on. I did not make that up. I had never seen an episode of the actual Mole or the Mole Ohio. It was a genuine, like, okay, what is happening?
So, because I remember like that first night, you're sitting on the couch. I don't remember who you're talking to, but someone's explaining to you the rules of the game. It's like, I was like, is Lachey learning right now? I wasn't quite sure, and I was like, well, maybe it's all an act. I don't know, because you're second guessing everyone at this point.
I promise you, I was in the room with Noah, and he's like, we can just look up episodes of the Mole real quick and then get you caught up to speed. But we end up talking for hours at night and never actually watching the show.
So, what did you? So you applied to the Mole Ohio. What were you expecting? What was your preconceived expectations about the game?
Honestly, going in blind was crazy. I kind of thought it was along the lines of Survivor. So getting there, to hearing that we don't get voted out, you kind of take yourself out. I'm like, oh, I'm in deep doo doo. What? We're taking a test? Test about what? So yeah.
And so when you kind of learn that's how the game's going to be,
hmm
what do you do?
Oh, I immediately go into panic mode. But I have such a like stoic, in your words, stoic personality. I'm like, okay, just look calm. You don't want to be the only person freaking out. So I'm just like, okay, copy everybody else. I should be writing down everything, I guess, looking at everything, and then kind of just winging it for real.
Well, because my take was you had nerves of steel, right? If you were panicked, it did not show whatsoever, which was really impressive.
That's crazy. Yeah, 99% of my time there, I was panicking.
But for someone who came and figured out as she went, you got to the final six. That's really good.
Well, thank. Isn't it technically final five? Not
Yeah,
including
final
Mole.
five. Yes, there's the
Yeah,
mall. They don't count.
that sounds better.
Top five, baby.
Yeah.
So you arrive at the game.
hmm
You're one of 12 players in the cast. Anyone you recognize?
I just recognize. Unfortunately, I didn't recognize you, even though you like spoke. But I did recognize Aaron. He was on Pride for Real Foot, which I had just played, and I had like a breakdown moment there, and I had like talked to Aaron. So I'm like, hey, good, he's here. But yeah, that's the only person I knew.
So you talked to Aaron, and then the rest of the cast were kind of new faces to you. In that first day, we have those two opening challenges. Who stood out to you as someone that you liked or got along with? Or you're like, oh, I need to watch this person. Be careful.
Almost immediately, I liked Luke. We kind of bonded over being from Indiana. He's only 2 hours from me, and I just like his personality. You feel like you've known him forever. You get to talk to him for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, I love your entire life. Let's be friends. everybody was super pleasant, and I enjoyed the cast more than I thought I would. Oh, this is a weird group, but it worked, and I really liked everybody.
And so when you hear that, you have to hunt the mole. You have to figure out who that the secret traitor is in the group. Kind of, what was your idea of like, how should you approach that?
Well, first hearing that, it just kind of cracked me up. Like, this is crazy. Someone's sitting here making like upset about us losing money, and they're the liar. This is the funniest thing I've ever heard of. Um, so at that point, it's kind of just like being myself, like just looking at everything. Like, okay, don't put yourself out there too much. I didn't think based off like the first 2 days, I'm like people see that I'm more reserved. Me being like, oh, like a Josh, that's not
Mhm.
too well for me. So just kind of sitting back, normal, watching everything and everybody.
So that first day, we do the first two opening challenges, right? The first one, we're in groups of the radio and having the relay messages. You have to tell people what your favorite author is. Some drama ensues, and then we have the second radio challenge where we have to move the shapes in a sequence. What were your thoughts on those challenges?
The first one was, I was kind of shocked how like so many people were confused. I'm like, mind you, we did these things months ago. I'm a big reader, so I don't know who I said at the moment. I probably was obsessed with Kathleen Glasgow months ago. I don't remember it now. The second one was fun, but not. I was wondering why you guys weren't saying anything or couldn't report to watch, but oh wow, that was.
Hey, Lachey, I think your mic is muffled a bit.
I know. Can you hear me now?
That sounds much better.
Sorry.
So who's your favorite author right now?
Probably John Mars. You know who that is?
No, I don't. Recommend me a book by him.
The one. Okay, so it's like you got like your perfect genetic DNA match, and yeah, I mean it's not. That's I'm not gonna go too much deep. That's the brief blurb, but yeah,
I'll keep an eye out for that book. Thank you.
really good.
So you get these dossiers, right? Like 40 pages of all this information. What do you do with it?
Once I don't remember who I even asked for real. Once I got my dossier, I looked over to somebody. I don't remember, maybe it was Joe sitting on the couch next to me. I'm like, what do we do with this? And I saw everybody starting to write stuff. So I just figured I had to copy everything from the dossiers into my notebook. So I immediately started doing that.
So you also get these tubes,
Mm-hmm.
and something I didn't know until we watched that first episode is somehow you get Luke's tube. Can you talk about how this happened?
Again, I'm still in this like, oh, maybe this is like a Survivor type of game. I don't want anybody to have an advantage that I don't have, knowing that I'm coming in blind. Even though I really liked Luke off the bat, I noticed it on the stairs going up to do a confessional. So I'm like, yeah, no, let's hide this.
And like the next day when Luke is saying my tube was stolen, I don't know. I'm just like, stolen. Yeah, totally what's happening, Luke.
I felt so bad because I want to say no. He was saying it right as I came back downstairs. Oh, I lost my tube. I'm like, well, I just hit somebody's in some towels. Sorry, friend.
You didn't know it was his initially.
Mm-mm.
Much like the dossier I took. I didn't know it was Josh. I was like, sorry.
Sorry.
So we see in the first episodes, the Sus Squad really comes together. Luke, Josh, and Aaron with an A. Do you clock that happening as the game's going?
Yeah. Like it gets to a point where I had I think a conversation with, I don't know, somebody. Was it maybe Luke? He was like, do you see at this point, I don't know what was going on or if he was really trying to throw me off. He's like, do you see Josh and Aaron keep going off to talk by themselves? I really think that's a thing. Are you clocking it? Whole time he was in it. I'm like, no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I was the same. I saw the Josh and Aaron, like, but I didn't realize it was it was a group of three. I didn't like really know that Luke was involved in that until like posted. It's like, oh shoot, I just missed that.
See, that's the opposite. I saw Josh and Luke all the time. Like Josh would continuously search out Luke. So I'm like, okay, they're obviously working together.
So if that's the one big coalition of the season, the second coalition, I think that matters a lot. It's going to be you, Noah, and Joe. Can you talk about the three of you and how that comes together?
Yeah, literally, I was looking for a bed to sleep in, and I saw a big green suitcase upstairs. I'm like, green's my favorite color. I'm in here with whoever. Come to find out, it's Noah. Almost immediately, I'm like, Love him. Love his entire life. We're gonna be close, huh? It felt like I had known him my whole entire life. Conversation was easy. Then here comes Joe. We had a closet, almost bedroom thing. He slept in there. We set up talking for hours. Those are my boys.
And so, were you in that initial night? Were you kind of plotting and strategizing about the game, or just kind of like we just get along really well initially?
I think it was both. It was like really well, like, oh yeah, so many hours have passed. We should probably talk about the game. We're just chit chatting. Then they were kind of filling me in. They were talking about their thoughts. I'm just like trying to, make some input into the conversation. I'm like, yeah, such and such looks a little bit weird. What do we think about that? So yeah.
One of my regrets is I think we have a brief conversation that first day. It's like we should talk, and
Mm-hmm.
then we don't end up talking until midway through the second day, or like when we finally get to be in a team together for a
Yeah.
challenge. So I regret not making more of that, but I was busy facing notebooks, studying and memorizing everything.
You were so much more sociable than I thought you would be. I didn't mean to like put you in a box. I'm just like, oh, you seem like a teacher. I mean, you're a professor. Really like put together. Okay, and then I look around. Steven's having conversations with everybody. I'm like, wow, he's a social butterfly. But
The
no,
table was a good place to be, apparently.
yeah. What was it? Second day, like you said, I went down there. I was like, "Good morning, Steven." And you're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna talk." And then we just never actually talked.
One thing I don't think I clocked was just how the game lasted 4 days, but still felt like it went fast, and it felt like you never had enough time, which I think is
Oh
every
no, for
game,
sure.
right?
Yeah, I do like the format of the game. There were a few challenges like a day. It wasn't like long periods of time of doing nothing. So it was like something always happening. You got to stay on your toes, pretty much.
Yeah, because I think Real Fit the slowest game where you have these long periods of downtime. Was that the slowest game you've played in a sense?
Yes. Oh, goodness. Especially when you out there, you got to be strategic and talking. So the longer time you have, the more chances the plan are going to change. Like, please pick it up. Come get us to go to tribal.
Yeah, I think nothing is more evil than like you lose the challenge, it's evening, and it's like we're voting out person, and they're like tribal council tomorrow morning. You're like, oh no, it's gonna be it was all night.
Now you're paranoid looking at who's walking off. Like, please just lay down.
Did you enjoy not having to be paranoid about other people in this game?
Um, I feel like yes and no. And I know that sounds crazy. Yes, and like you don't have to stress. No one is like actively, oh, I guess people, well, one person was actively lying to us all, but I don't know. I'm so used to like that type of format. It would have felt nice to know, like, okay, we have to vote somebody out. I don't know. Like, this was so calm. Like, this is all on you, Lachey.
So, because you've played a variety of game formats, you played Survivor, you've played the Challenge, you've played them all. Are there any other formats I'm missing that you've played?
No, that's it. Just
And so, of the three formats, what do you think has been maybe the most enjoyable to play, or maybe let's go from most stressful to least stressful?
most stressful, of course, Survivor. Least stressful, maybe like the challenge.
Okay.
And then most surprising and most fun, the mode. You wouldn't think like, oh, we're not really competing physically, but the challenges are fun. The social part is fun, and the game itself, like, oh, can I do a quiz fast, or how much do I remember from the dossiers? Like, you don't think it would be fun, but it's truly fun.
So you take that first quiz. What's your reaction to to that?
I was sweating bullets. I was so nervous. I don't remember who I was standing by. I'm like, they're going to just smell me smelling like a ball of onions. I know I'm sweating. Like, I'm so nervous because, mind you, we don't really know anything that first quiz. So it could be anybody. So my heart did break for Riley because I'm like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, it's not me.
So that second round, we go to mini golf. We
Mhm.
have a little bit of a trivia competition. You answer the correct question in regards to literature question, and then we have the chain breaking challenge where we had several players break the chain and get offered advantages, and Josh as well as Danny take it. Any thoughts about this round?
Um, I feel like I do have regrets. That I feel like that should have been the round I stepped up to do something. Normally I'm just like in my head, it's big group, I'm not the most social person. So I'm just like, okay, at some point you have to, but I figured early on would have been better because then that would have like introduced me to what jokers were or exemptions. Like then later on in the game, when I got the chance to get another one, I could have, but you know.
Were you offered a chance for a Joker exemption later on?
No, I didn't even know what they were. I think somebody had to explain them to me.
Yeah, it's like you hear a joke, you're just like, what does that mean? It's not like
Yeah.
immunity idol. It's like, oh, I know a hidden immunity idol. Oh, I know what that is. It's like, what is a Joker
What's a
exactly?
Joker? Okay, yeah.
So this round is going to go poorly for you because Noah is the second player eliminated from the game.
Tough. Yeah, it was really tough, especially when you connect to somebody who you don't expect to connect to that fast. I mean, he was my roommate, but also my friend. Somebody I still consider a friend today. And he looked at me and was like, yeah, I'm going to do what we talked about. So I'm like, no, please don't do that. Even I know that that's not a good idea this early. But he was so adamant, and obviously it wasn't a good thing.
So Noah's eliminated, and then we have a very interesting round. So this starts with the panorama challenge. So you, Josh, and I are in a group together. We have to spell probate and popcorn. We kind of talked a little bit about this already. Is this your first time being in a team with Josh as well?
It was. I felt so bad because at first I'm like, I really didn't want to be in any challenges where I had to work with Josh because I'm like, I could not read him. I'm like, I know that he's trying to put suspicion on himself, but it just was like, okay, this is going to cost our group so much time. Like, I would just rather not. I was excited that you picked me, but it was fun. And the whole time I didn't really know what probate meant. So I'm like, what are we spelling? So, yeah, it was a fun challenge.
Yeah, my takeaway was like, I thought you did a great job, and I thought Josh tried.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he really did.
Like his lowercase b, his ability to stand on one leg, very shaky. But like, I was like, I feel like Josh gave me a full effort in it.
He
Like,
did. I feel like that was what like flipped the switch for me. Like seeing him give effort, and then like just getting to talk to him a little bit more personally. Like, okay.
I was laughing though because like of us, Josh didn't have his phone. My phone wasn't working for the panorama feature. Your phone's like on 20% battery. It's like, all right, we don't have a lot of time. We got to do this.
We got to do this. I figure, I don't know. Once we got it, and the second word went pretty quickly after that. So it was fun, just like throwing my body in weird positions.
Yoga outside on a summer day. What more can you ask for?
Literally, while people just watch us, like, yeah, this is normal.
Now, the other two teams don't do as well as our teams are doing. Anything stand out to you about anyone else in that challenge?
Oh my gosh, Danny had me cracking up. We go, the teams or groups. Hey, what word are they spelling? Danny was just kind of like balled up in weird shapes. I thought she was the mole for sure after that. I'm like, I don't think this girl tried. And I love Danny down, but I don't know what was happening with her letters.
That was funeral, right? That was that word.
Yeah, they were like, "Did you see the headstones in the back, babe? We didn't know what those were." No.
So the second part of this round, we end up doing a partner twist. Daddy Matt from the previous season comes, talks about each of us, and says, "I've created a dating profile that matched you." And you and I end up matched together, which is an interesting turn in fate. Now, looking at the cast, who would have been your ideal match? Who do you wish you had been kind of put with?
Probably you for sure.
Okay.
Or girl Erin. So I'm like, okay, they're smart. I know they're taking like really, really good notes. I saw y'all writing all the time. And mine were decent, but I don't think it was to the level of you guys. So I'm like, okay, if I could just like pick their brains or kind of watch what they're doing, see if they are the mo, then yeah. So I was in luck.
So we go to the dinner, and we don't have. Well, what were your thoughts about the dinner? Because it's you, me, and both Erin's at our table, and then some other people kind of float by over the course of the hour.
The dinner was really fun and light at first, I felt like, but then it was nice to kind of hear some strategy talk and got to pick the brains of both Erin's and who they thought the mo was. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting insight. Like, people trust me. I must not be sus enough. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but and I hope they aren't lying. Like, in that round, I do feel like Danny had most of the suspicion. So I just kept hearing her name over and over.
I feel like I heard. So Danny comes over to our table, and we start talking a lot about Brienne too.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I don't think I had that many conversations with Brienne. I wanted to work with Brienne. I looked up to her. I'm like, oh, this is my type of girl. But I would try to talk to her, and it was just like nothing. Like, oh, you're keeping your cards close. Okay.
So yeah, so we returned from dinner, and we learn, oh, this twist has another part. We are taking a quiz together, and we'll either stay in the game or be eliminated with each other. Thoughts on hearing that?
I was so scared. It's already scary knowing that I send myself out. Either I'm not fast enough or I didn't get enough correct answers. But now, like, okay, could I potentially drag Steven down or could he drag me down? I don't know how he's doing on his quizzes. Like, this is so sad. Please, not right now.
So we see in the episode, we actually, a fair amount of that conversation we have makes it to the episode. Any thoughts on, hearing us talk back about our thoughts or what was going on at the time?
No, I feel like we both are pretty locked in. That conversation, it felt genuine. Like, okay, I'm kind of nervous, but I'll give it my all. And I got that like vibe from you too. So I'm like, good. I didn't think in that moment that I was going to be let down.
So we share each other kind of our suspects in the moment, and you pitch two names. You say Danny and Emily. Kind of talk through at the moment why you were focusing on those two players.
I felt like at first with Danny, we were kind of placing a lot of suspicion on Josh. Like, oh, he opened his tube and he keeps purposely sabotaging things. I'm like, well, hey, Danny does have the same track record. She didn't bring her tube. She didn't answer her questions right in mini golf. And she just had a lot of, such things going on. And then Emily, it was like, she was really adamant about being like in every challenge. She had to be like the leader. I'm like, something is going on. Maybe she's pulling a Josh or I don't know, but Emily is very suspicious to me.
And that was something I like in terms of Emily. I really hadn't seen as much, so it's really seen or noticed as much about Emily at that time. I will admit, I was looking back at our conversation. I was a bit more cagey than you. Like hearing that, I just told her how it is. Like, oh, I wish I had been a bit more straight up at the time because I say like my top two people are Luke and Danny, but really my top person was Aaron with an E. And I was so scared to give out her name because I wanted to secretly be the one of the few people on Aaron with an E. Now we know Aaron with the E is not the mole. She got eliminated soon after that. I was it must be Aaron. It has to be Aaron at this point in time.
That's kind of crazy. That's interesting to hear. I mean, I wish you would have told me that. Maybe not, because I would have tried to go on Aaron and then that would have
I think it worked out well for you that I didn't push Aaron with an E as a suspect because she ended up being them all.
Yeah. But I mean, just to know like somebody had my back and was like giving me genuine information. Okay, Noah's gone. And well, his information wasn't that good because the name he was pushing was not the Mo. Joe is here. So okay.
Yeah, I wonder, so after this elimination, Luke comes to me and Luke's like, Steven, what was your strategy? Like, I don't know. Lachey took the quiz. I took the quiz. Like, what do you mean you didn't have a greater strategy? Like, Joe and I split. He did these three names. I did these three names. That's what we knew we were safe. I'm like, oh, wow. Maybe Lachey and I should have coordinated more, but it clearly worked out.
I kept hearing Danny and Brienne was like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to go in the middle. Our top two suspects were each other. So we obviously, had to deviate. I'm like, we did not do that.
I was just like, I trust Lachey to do what she has to do. Now, something that doesn't make it to the episode is the teams are brought one by one to determine whether they want to stay in a group or break apart, and we are the last team to go.
I was so sure that somebody was going to want to break apart. I'm like, because we had asked, I'm like, hey, will you be like, announced to the group as being the one? I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not me. I don't want to be just like put on the spot. I'm going to stay. I hope. In the moment, I was hoping you're the mole. I'm like, I think at this point, I think he's the mole anyway. So if I stay here, I'm safe. So let me just stay and not look like the bad guy. I'll just stay.
Because I remember, Josh and Emily are going right before us. So they're the fourth of the five pairs. And they're arguing about Josh. Emily's like, Josh should do it. Josh should do it. I tweeted like, hey, I think Josh is going to do it. We should do it too. And you're like, Steven, don't. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do it.
Let's just don't. Because I was pretty sure that he was going to do it anyway. Like, let's let him just take all the bad stuff. We're good.
Yeah, so it was more surprised than anything that we stayed as a pair.
Yeah.
So Danny and Brienne eliminated. What was your reaction?
Jaw dropped. At this point, that's when I knew this game is just so unpredictable. You could be so sure, like, dude, that it's not real. Your gut is not a real thing. Like I was like, yeah, Danny's the mole. I know this girl's the mole. You don't know anything because Danny's not the mole. She's just got eliminated. This is wild.
It really felt like we went to the third day and there's been a huge reset. Like the target everyone had out of the game. We're like, okay, now what?
It felt like a really calm, stressful scramble. Everybody had to reassess and rework. At least that's what I got from it because that's what I was doing.
So the start of the next day, we start with what's going to be kind of the phone rings. Players answer. They go outside, and then we have to figure out who's telling the truth and who's lying. What were your thoughts on this challenge?
Again, another big regret, especially watching it back. I was screaming at myself. I think it was when Aaron picked up the phone. I'm like, dude, Lachey, I wanted to. He stood up like the Flash. When I say it was like, he knew he wanted to put himself in a position to, gain some type of power. Mind you, Aaron was really smart. He knew the game in and out. So I'm like, okay, damn, I should have been the one. I was hoping it was going to be another phone call, but it didn't end up a phone call. That round was really, really fun. I was trying my hardest. I'm like, who's telling me the truth? Who isn't telling me the truth? Aaron's story didn't make sense, and we see why he wanted to do that. But I kind of did a 360. I'm like, okay, Emily is coming off really, really believable. I'm going to go with Emily. Mind you, I had been suspicious of her the entire time. I'm like, see, the whiplash is going crazy.
Yeah, you and I both vote for Emily that round. And
Yeah.
for me, I was like, all right, I'm going to vote wrong no matter what it feels. And I felt like whoever I voted wrong is getting some sort of power advantage. I'd rather go to Emily over Josh and Aaron. That was kind of what I was thinking at that moment.
See, I hated being so naive. No, I didn't suspect or even know they were going to get a power advantage. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If I ever get the chance to play it again, I'm going to be more prepared.
So, do you think? So, if you play again, do you think you'll behave more mole-like, or what would you do different? What would you do broadly differently?
I don't know. I don't think behaving more mole-like would benefit me. I probably play the same, but just more know-how of the game and what I should be doing and how to set myself up.
So we then have we essentially play Survivor. 3 rounds of Survivor, voting out 3 players from the table. If you vote out people who got the Jokers are out of the game. Otherwise, those players are happy and we lose money for the pot. Mm-hmm. Talk me through those voting rounds and what was going through your mind. Because you and Joe are on the same page for this, unfortunately.
Me and Joe are literally talking across the table, like, hey, we're gonna vote together. Like, so ridiculously funny, but in the moment I was so serious. I trusted Emily. I vote for her. Then right after, I'm like, nope, we have to get Emily out of here. I think she got a Joker. I don't want her to have a Joker. It's not Emily. She didn't have the Joker. We did wrong. And I was so sure I smelled vinegar on my side of the table. It being Aaron. Wasn't Aaron. I'm like, Lachey, girl, get it together. That was a tough round.
So Josh, Aaron, and Joe all get Jokers, which kind of leave the rest of us a little Jokerless. Yeah. However, you survive, and Aaron with an E goes out. Now, were you suspecting Aaron at that point when Aaron went out of the game, or I was like you were fine with her leaving?
I actually wasn't fine with her leaving. Well, I mean, yeah, in the sense that it wasn't me, but I don't think I suspected Aaron with an E. I just thought she was really good at the game. She knew how to play the game. So I was surprised. I'm like, she kept saying it's going to be me. I'm like, girl, knock it off. No, it's not. Yeah, it is.
So you and Joe at this point, what are you strategizing or focusing on? Are you still being at 100% open, sharing information? Because we hear the Sus Squad starts to kind of break down a bit. Like Josh is not getting the information he used to from Aaron and Luke at this point in time.
Oh, for sure. I feel like I was being 100% truthful with Joe the entire time because I was the only person in the house that I trusted to be honest back. I'm like, I don't really benefit from withholding information. I mean, I do need help in how to play the game. He seemed to be a little bit lost. I'm like, hey, I think it's Emily. Again, with that, it's just like a gut thing. Like, he's really suspicious to me. I was like trying to lay it out step by step of what I was noticing. And he's just like, no way. It can't be. So I'm like, you've seen it. You're right. Maybe I should back off. So, yeah.
So going to the next round, kind of two parts. We're broken to two groups of three. And so group one is going to go answer questions. Group two is going to try to guess what those answers are. And those questions were, let's see, who is the most selfish? Who do people like the most? Who do people want to see eliminated next? And who deserves the win? What are your thoughts on this?
This is crazy because I actually forgot about this challenge for a minute. Okay, can we like break it down? Because I really don't even remember.
Yeah, so my group, so it's me, Aaron with an A, well, the only Aaron left, and Emily. And so we answer the following. We say Josh is the most selfish.
Mhm.
We say Luke is the most likable. We say the person wants to eliminate next is you, Lachey. And yes, I know. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was like, Josh, like, no. I was like, why not Josh? Like, well, because it's not helpful if he goes out. We know he's not the mole. And they're like, we'd like to see Lachey get eliminated next. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was very happy to tell you that later. Like, guess what Emily and Aaron said about you.
Wow. Okay.
And then who deserves the win? We put Josh as the answer.
Oh, okay. I do remember we were talking about this. I thought for sure Luke would be the most likable, and I thought he deserved the win the most. We did think Josh would be the most selfish. I didn't see him as deserving to win. He had been selfish the entire game. Yeah, look, now I feel good about saying that because you wanted to see me go.
And so after that, we break for lunch, and then when we return, let's see, what challenge. This is when we get to do the art challenge. This is where we're going to see everyone's arts and crafts skills at hand. And our team versus, so it's you, Emily, Joe, and I versus Aaron, Luke, and Josh. How would you describe our group's culture or art ethic?
I thought we were an interesting group for sure. Like us put together. I thought the more chaotic people were placed together. Like, oh, it's a vibe over here. So we get to doing the it didn't take us long to decide who we wanted to do LeBron James. I'm like, oh, he's instantly recognizable, the jersey. So it was Joe, this Picasso comes out just drawing and then placing the little glue mat. I'm like, okay, this is not gonna be hard. I did end up getting frustrated with you. As we can see, I'm like, Steven, you're like delegating tasks. And I'm like, hey, you're not doing anything. What's going on? So my suspicions rose. I'm like, it's Steven.
I love it when it's like Steven, you can glue too. Have a glue stick.
I feel so bad. I'm like, this came off harsher than intended, but I'm just like, no, what's going on?
I mean, I thought it was funny. I mean, my arts and crafts skills, very mediocre. Granted, gluing tissue paper onto construction paper, well within my wheelhouse. But like, I don't know. I was just like, you can have, and like, it gets to the point where Emily just takes away my glue stick privileges.
Yeah.
I
was like, oh
no. On the other side, though, when you watched the episode back, you got to see Luke, Aaron, and Josh's team. What was your thoughts watching them do this challenge?
They had my stomach cramped up. I was laughing so hard. They were a mess as predicted, and it showed. They really make for great TV, and I can see why they were the Sus Squad together. They gave us a pile of a literal poster board full of crap. I'm not even sure what that was.
It's not like any Halle Berry I've ever seen.
Dude, I showed it to my coworkers. They were weak. Like, what is that? I don't know.
And like the fact, like if we had to recreate something from memory, it would be hard. But the fact that he's like, here is the pixelated picture that you can follow to do. It's like Tim was being nice to us.
Oh, for sure. I can't even remember the movie they said it was from that they were doing. I hadn't seen the movie, so I'm like,
man,
I'm naming rappers at this point. Are these lasers? What is that?
The lightning bolts behind her.
Okay.
So, following this challenge, we take our next quiz. Joe is eliminated. What was your thoughts on watching Joe leave?
Oh, I was sick, honey. I was sick. I'm like, okay, there goes my Mo game. Of course, in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I got to just reassess and try to do something different. Obviously, something is working for me if I'm not being eliminated, but damn, who am I going to now bounce information off of with Joe gone? It was tough. That was a really hard elimination for me. Now my room's empty.
So after Joe, who was the person you talked to the most next on the cast during the game? Like, who was your next person you felt the most confident or trust in, or is there just no one after Joe?
I think Luke. we had a conversation the previous round right before we like broke for lunch, and I was like telling him like I'll be truthful to you, like this is what I'm thinking. I'm not really hiding anything, but I could see his like loyalties lied elsewhere. So I'm like, okay, I try to put myself out there and got like stomped down. Ouch.
Did Joe tell you anything about how he was answering that final quiz, or was it just a mystery of how he went out for you?
I think he did tell me, and again, like with Noah, I'm like, please don't do that. But he was like so locked in and so sure, and I'm like, okay, well, I now know that being locked in and so sure is not the way to go. Like, let's not do that.
And so, at this point, are you going all in on people in your quizzes, or are you spreading your answers across multiple players?
I think I was still spreading them out. I just wanted to cover my bases. I just remember Danny saying like, that's not smart. And I value what she said. I'm like, I don't think that she would just be, shooting the shit for no reason. Do not go all in. Just keep spreading it out as far as possible.
So this leads us to the most recent episode. And so 2 challenges the episode. The first challenge, we played some blackjack to determine who would go downstairs and match people to their loved ones. Talk to me about this challenge.
Oh my God. Again, I feel like a broken record. Don't know how to play blackjack. I'm looking over at Josh for help, and he's like, yeah, I got you. Like, you should hit, you should not hit.
Mm-hmm.
I get downstairs. I can see that the pictures are manipulated. So I know somebody before me messed with them. So my suspicions are like, oh, okay, yeah, tingly. They're good. I'm onto it. This was a fun round. And at that point, I felt like I was like pretty sure who the Mo was. So I'm like, no, you're going against everything you said you were going to do. You're not going to go all in on somebody. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you got to.
So in that challenge, it's revealed that someone did manipulate it. Now we know from watching the episode it was Emily who did so, but it wasn't quite clear in the game. Did you learn that it was Emily in the game, or is that something post game you learned that Emily manipulated it?
Oh, that was definitely post game. She had told me that she didn't notice that it was like manipulated, and she was just so shocked. So I'm like, okay, we're only 2 girls left. Let me trust her. Like, yeah, my girl Emily did not touch those pictures. Good act. Yes, she did. Okay,
and like, I didn't. It just never occurred to me that you could do that in the challenge.
You're telling me. I'm like, okay, there's a lot you can get away with in these games.
I feel like you kind of want a rules lawyer and say, all right, you say these are rules, but what are you not saying that I can do here?
Exactly.
So following this challenge, we then get to I'm trying to remember, it's all a blur. We get my favorite challenge, or I don't know if it's your favorite challenge. We go to the offsite location and we played a complicated version of Battleship, and Lachey, you're nominated to be the leader of this challenge.
Steven, I was actually so sick. Oh my gosh. I wanted to like elbow Luke so hard. He's like, I nominate Lachey. Dude, shut up. What are you doing? He's giving her a chance to truly, that's obviously something I'm not comfortable with doing. Like, don't put me in the spotlight. Like, come on. And then here go everybody else. Yeah. Like, okay.
Wait, Josh raised his hand. We could have made him in charge.
I was trying to co-sign with Josh. Like, yeah, let's give it to Josh. You guys were shooting Josh down hard.
So, in the challenge, you're taking candy off this grid, trying to sink the ships, and then everyone else is passing the candy using chopsticks. How good are you at chopsticks? Would you have liked to be in that part of it? Never
used chopsticks. I don't know.
Okay, so you have been like Luke with one in each hand, like trying to figure it out. Oh, for sure.
Like, steady.
But you do get this unique role of you get to pick up to 3 people to go on a little excursion to potentially give you more shots in the game. And you end up choosing Aaron, then Luke, and then Emily. Can you talk through the decision factor to send those 3 players?
I thought for sure I was most confident that Aaron wasn't the Mo, and that he was still like working in the group mentality. So he would go back there and do what needed to be done. So I would say I trusted him the most. And then Luke, of course, even though he kind of like shot down my proposal, I'm like, I feel like I trust you, sure. And it was such a toss up. I didn't mean to rule you out completely, but after like our little speed date round, I'm like, I don't know if I can trust Steven. He just seems to not be telling me something, and I don't understand why. I'm literally trying to like bond and be open with him, but he's giving me nothing. So I'm like, I don't want to pick Josh. I don't really want to pick Emily either, but I'm like, I'm gonna go with Emily.
Yeah, I figured I was like, all right, like I don't think any of us would have sent Josh in there because we knew what would happen if we put Josh in that room.
For sure.
Like I don't think any of us knew like to what extent there would be advantages offered, and boy, there were advantages offered. What did you think when you heard that Aaron turned down an exemption?
I was so surprised. I truly was so surprised. At this point, I think I grasped the concept of the exemptions and the jokers and like what was being offered. So I'm like, for sure, he's a calculated player. He's a good player. He's gonna take something. So when he came back and told me he didn't take anything, I'm like, do you know something that I don't know? Like, are you willing to share? Like, please, I beg you. Like, what is going on?
And then Luke comes back and doesn't take an advantage. Then Emily comes back and doesn't take an advantage.
I was sure that I was being lied to. I'm like, okay, one of you two did take something. There's no way. So everybody's just like, yeah, advantages. You know, getting me further in the game. Yeah, no. Someone's lying. What?
I was very much stunned. I was like, I mean, let's say, to be honest, if you put me in the room, I'm probably taking advantage, right? Like, I think it was a good call to not put me in the room because I'd probably take it.
As you did, yeah.
And so I was so stunned to hear what all three of those players did. I was trying to figure out, like, man, what is going on in this game that I don't know. I felt very much the same at that point in time.
I feel like in the back of my mind, I kind of knew you would do that, but I feel like you were so set up. You just came across so confident and sure of yourself. I'm like, Stephen knows who the mole is. Let's not give him anything else to boost him ahead of me, and I'm floundering here. Like, no, he's good. He doesn't need this.
And so I'll ask you, let's say you get to go to one of those rooms. What would you have taken, or would you have turned it down for the extra moves in the Battleship game?
Stupidly, I probably in the moment would have passed. No, I wouldn't. I probably would have took a Joker. Because that round I didn't really feel confident, and as you can see, I went home. I probably to give me some type of cushion, like just to be sure.
So it is revealed later that Luke did pocket a Joker, but he turned down 3 Jokers. But none of us knew that was happening. I just believed everyone said that we turned it down. I was like, oh my gosh.
He came out and was like, girl, do you want to know what I took? I'm like, hell yeah. Like, what is it? What's the secret? I didn't take anything. This is what was offered to me. And again, like a dummy, I'm just like, I believe you, Luke. Like, you're not gonna lie to me. But this is like a self game, and you want to, prepare yourself for it. So I was kind of upset. I'm like, maybe the Joker could have been like the difference in me staying and going. But I'm like, I understand why he did it. And respect to you, Luke.
So you take the final quiz. This is the final quiz of day 3. Again, strategy. Did you spread on this final quiz? Did you go all in? How were you approaching it?
I really didn't have a strategy. I thought in my mind, I knew who it was. I had a conversation with Aaron, and again, trusted him completely. He swayed my mind 1,000%. He was confident, so I was like, okay, are you sure? He's like, I promise you, I would not lie to you. Went all in, and I was not safe. So yeah, that was pretty tough.
So you execution ceremony, you see the red thumbprint, you're out of the game. I know at the time you weren't happy, but how are you feeling now about your experience overall in the game?
I think it was pretty crazy for me to make it as far as I did with no knowledge of this show. This shows you part of it can be luck. I was doing the test really fast and just hoping that the answers that I did remember from the dossier would get me to the next round. I do feel like the people that made it to the end deserve to be there, and I had fun. So
yeah, because I remember when we did the joint quiz for that double elimination, where our computers are back to back, and you finished yours like in a minute and a half, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm still going, and like because I don't think I'd realized that we took the slower of the 2 times, and so my time ended up, if there was a tie, it would have been my time that would have broken it, not your time. It's like, oh shoot.
Yeah, and that was the quiz. I had a person in mind, and I was set on them. I should have just followed my first gut that last round, but you live and you learn.
You live and you learn. I'm curious. So this is your first foray into a non-voting, or I guess more social game. I guess a more social deduction style game. Do you see yourself playing a traders game in the future?
From what I understand, the traders is like kind of similar. Like you kind of have to suss out who the traders are. No, hell no. This is crazy. Like you walk into a Survivor game, you know that you're going to be lied to. You know that you're going to be lying at some point. There are people that are telling the truth, but now you're so on guard. You're so suspicious of everyone. It's stressful. No, thanks.
Like when Luke was saying, like, I went all in. I'm like, no, he's lying. That can't be the truth. Turns out he was telling the truth.
I'm like, I started questioning Aaron. I'm like, are you lying? This is not good for my mental health. What is happening here?
Well, Lachey, thank you so much for coming on today and talk about your experience. It was a blast having you in our cast. I was really impressed by how you played and everything you accomplished, and you gave great one-liner confessionals. I've enjoyed watching you throughout the season.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited for everyone to watch the rest of the show. These episodes are so good. Our cast was top tier.
Well, if you enjoy watching another Josh Meltdown, get excited. There's more. There are meltdowns to come tomorrow night at 7:00 Eastern time, 7:30 Eastern time. The next episode will drop. I will not be doing a recap of next episode because the Eliminated Player, we want to do a spoiler lead-in discussion. So all remaining people to interview will be after the finale. So get excited for that, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Lachey.
Bye, Steven.
Bye, all.